got a longer line of inquiry on this long line we were talking about. So this form that annoyingly isn't dated on the from the Thirlwall inquiry, the Pan Cheshire analysis, CDOP analysis for child A. So basically the doctors had put in the umbilical catheter in wrong twice. Then they went to put in a long line through the right arm to give this is to give nutrients to the baby. Now, I think due to all of to this umbilical catheter being put in the wrong position, the newborn baby had actually been without any of these nutrients for like 4 hours or something, which I believe is probably not ideal. But there's a couple of queries because it says the line was supposed to be pulled back late. The line was supposed to be pulled back, and I'm not sure if this line was ever pulled back. So I'm going to have to listen to Crime Scene to Courtroom with the what we hear from the prosecution and the transcripts. I've been banned from Crime Scene to Courtroom for being a quote unquote Letby supporter, whatever that is. But okay, I'm sure they won't mind us having a listen.
I knew that I'd been allocated to look after Child A in Nursery 1.
Incidentally, Lucy wasn't even supposed to be working this night. She got asked earlier in the day, I think, if she can come in and do the night shift, and she said okay. She arrived there about 7:30 at night, and it looks like the other nurse, Melanie Taylor, and a junior doctor were messing around doing something with Child A, so we'll hear about that.
I went straight into Nursery 1 to get handover then from Melanie Taylor. At that point, there was a lot of activity going on in the nursery. Pause there for a moment. Lucy replies, yes. You find out then that you're looking after Child A, is that right? Lucy replies, that's right. You go into the nursery. Do you recall who was in the nursery, or do you not? She replies, yes, so Melanie Taylor was in the nursery and Dr. Harkness was in there doing a procedure.
Dr. Harkness, okay.
Mr. Myers. When you refer there, or when you refer to there being activity in there, is that what you mean, or is there something else that sticks in your mind? She replies, so I remember there was just a lot going on in the nursery. The lights were up full. I think Dr. Harkness was doing a line procedure at the time, and I remember Melanie Taylor was preparing fluids for Child A.
Okay.
Mr. Myers, all right. You went into Nursery 1, yes. What happened once you went into Nursery 1? She replies, I went into Nursery 1 and Melanie Taylor was there, preparing fluids for Child A. And she explained that Child A had been without fluids for a few hours because he'd needed a long line inserting.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't sound ideal for a premature baby, but okay.
As a priority, we got straight on with connecting those fluids to Child A. Right, you say Child A. She explained he'd been without fluids for some hours. Lucy replies, she did, yes. Can we look at tile 35, which is the intensive care chart for this period for Child A? If we go behind that, and if we just start with this, actually we can see this is for the 8th of June, Miss Letby, for Child A. It says Child A. We're familiar with the charts now, so I'm going to ask if we could scroll down. We can see up to 1600. There are entries. And then at 1600 that day for Child A, it says cannula tissued. Lucy replies, yes. And apart from an entry for NGT at 1800, which is some expressed breast milk via the NGT, what does that tell us? The fact that after 1600 the various readings have stopped. Lucy replies, So after that point at 1600, his peripheral line has tissued, which means he can no longer receive IV fluids. So at that point, from 1600 onwards, or between 1600 and 2000, he didn't have any fluids running. Benjamin Myers: That's what was explained to you? She replies, yes. That had been stopped? She replies, yes. There's something else I would like to ask you about. It's on tile 145. There's a reference to a line that had been positioned. It's tile 145, please.
Okay.
It's in Dr. Harkness' clinical notes. As a general rule, I'm not going to be taking you through clinical notes, but where there's something in them I would like you to assist us with, I will. If we scroll to the bottom of that page, we can see something in Dr. Harkness' notes that said, quote, X-ray review. It's a sticker. It says the time of the X-ray. For the date, it's got the 8th of June 2015, 1909. And there's a description of what's there. But under comments, it says, long line upright subclavian SVC, which is superior vena cava, to be pulled back.
Right.
Can you see that? Lucy replies, yes. That's what it was saying at 1909. Were you aware that there was a repositioning of the long line that was due to take place? Had that been explained to you? She replies, I was told at the time that the line was suitable for use.
So this line was due to be moved, and she was told by... we'll listen.
Mr. Myers: You were told it was suitable for use? She replies, yes. And who told you that? Lucy Letby, Melanie Taylor and Dr. Harkness.
Interesting.
Right. Is that the line that the 10% glucose went down? She replied.
Okay, so they then... so Melanie Taylor, who's the other nurse, and Dr. Harkness have apparently said it's okay to use this line even though it was due to be repositioned. So here's the couple of discrepancies. So we think this line is now being used even though it's apparently in the wrong position. Well, I've got here this is the thematic review that Brewery had carried out around the 8th of February. So for child A, twin born at 31 weeks gestation, initially in good condition, UVC inserted and lying in left lobe of liver. Peripheral long line inserted with a view to remove the UVC once long line in situ. They never did remove that UVC, but I don't think that's got any relevance. But okay, the long line reported later as projected over the junction of the innominate vein and superior vena cava, which is satisfactory position. However, so that's a bit strange that they're saying this is a satisfactory position when the other form said it was probably in the wrong, said it was to be pulled back, and we looked earlier that it didn't seem that it was in the ideal position. And the registrar that evening felt it required withdrawing a little, but that obviously hadn't happened, and Dr. Harkness and Melanie Taylor said to go ahead and use it. I mean, presumably because the baby had been without fluids for 4 hours. So I mean, I've just this new deep CKI, because I haven't got access to my own personal neonatologist. I'm just asking this new deep CKI, and the question is a PICC line projected over the junction of the innominate vein and superior vena cava in the correct position in a neonate? No. Is not considered to be in the correct position. Reason being, they want it's supposed to be on the lower third of the superior vena cava, in order to have reduced risk of complications such as thrombosis, vessel perforation, or cardiac tamponade. Also, so thrombosis, yeah, why not there? Higher risk of clot formation due to slower blood flow. And we know that, so within 1 hour, in fact, it was probably 20 minutes of them feeding this, activating this line, the baby had collapsed. And it says here, so it was thought to be the collapse was thought to be related to the long line. Well, yeah, I mean, if you just started feeding fluids into it, and it was they're already thinking it's probably in the wrong place. Well, yeah. So you would think it was the long line. So the long line was removed, and help was called. Intubation was attempted. Blood clots were noted in the tube. Blood clots were noted in the tube. So, there we go. Was that due to the active long line being in the wrong place? Complications of an active malpositioned PICC line. Vascular complications. Thrombosis. Like I say, I mean, I'm just a member of the public reading this, but it gives two different accounts here. One says it's in a satisfactory position, and then they've said it's not in a satisfactory position. So why did they say go ahead and use it? And then basically, yeah, so the baby collapsed shortly after this, 20 minutes later, and obviously it's all Lucy's fault. Okay.